quail calls, follow the drink and gold. For the old man is waiting for, carry you to freedom. Follow
The Underground Railroad. Before the Underground Railroad, songs, folklore, messaging, and stories passed down through the slave groups told of the North Star or drinking gourd, which was an indicator of which direction to take to freedom. The Underground Railroad began in the late 1700s and was most active from 1840 to 1861. It was a secret network of routes and safe houses or stations run by station masters, an organized method of moving freedom seekers from slavery to freedom in the northern states and Canada. Harriet Tubman, known as Moses, William Still, and Levi Coffin were famous conductors of the Underground Railroad. The Underground Railroad used railroad terminology, secret code words, and symbols to communicate. Phrases such as "the wind blows from the south" was an alert that fugitive slaves were in the area. Another phrase, "the riverbank makes a good road," was a reminder to travel by water. Other terminologies used in the Underground Railroad were preachers, who were abolitionists and leaders. The Ohio River was referred to as the River Jordan. An agent was a person who coordinated and plotted a course of escape. Financial benefactors, or people who supplied money to fund the Underground Railroad, were known as stockholders. They provided money for food, clothes, and transportation.
The Underground Railroad was so active, the United States government enacted the 1850 Fugitive Slave Law. The Fugitive Slave Law required law enforcement officials to arrest people suspected of being runaway slaves. Law officials who did not stop an alleged runaway slave were liable to a fine of $1,000, about $31,000 in present-day value. Law officials who captured a fugitive slave were entitled to a bonus or promotion for their work. Any person aiding a runaway slave by providing food, shelter, or transportation was subject to 6 months imprisonment and a $1,000 fine. Canada passed the Upper Canada Act Against Slavery in 1793, which stopped the importation and sale of slaves. Canada then became the Land of Freedom, New Canaan, the Promised Land. In 1833, Canada legislated the British Imperial Act, which completely abolished slavery. Slave catchers from the United States, also known as paddy rollers, could not lawfully enter Canada. However, they were sometimes observed in the border areas of Sandwich, Amherstburg, and Chatham, Ontario. An estimated 30,000 freedom seekers entered Canada with the assistance of the Underground Railroad. Essex County was one of the last stops on the Underground Railroad. There was a settlement on the Canard River in the central part of the county called New Canaan.